Trade tensions between the United States and Europe have been simmering for years, but recent tariff policies have brought them to a boiling point. What started as a targeted trade strategy soon spiraled into a broader economic confrontation that left European leaders scrambling for a response. French President Emmanuel Macron in particular has taken a leading role in pushing back against Washington's aggressive approach. But what does this escalating trade conflict mean for the future of international relations, and could it lead to a larger economic shift? Stay with us as we break down the story behind these tensions, the key players involved, and the potential consequences for the global economy. And before we dive in, if you are interested in more discussions on global economics and politics, don't forget to like and share this video. It helps us bring you more content like this. During his presidency, Donald Trump made it clear that he was willing to shake up global trade. He launched a series of tariffs targeting multiple countries including Canada, Mexico, and China under the argument that the US needed to protect its industries and reduce trade deficits. These weren't minor tariffs either. Canada and Mexico faced 25% tariffs on steel and aluminum, while China saw tariffs as high as 60% on some products. At first, Europe wasn't directly in the line of fire, but that changed quickly. Trump soon set his sights on European goods, announcing new tariffs that sent shockwaves through the EU. European leaders were caught between two choices: negotiate with the US and risk appearing weak, or retaliate and risk escalating the trade conflict further. French President Emmanuel Macron was one of the most vocal opponents of Trump's tariff policies. At an EU defense summit in Brussels, Macron made it clear that Europe wouldn't be bullied into submission. We must defend our interest, he stated, emphasizing that Europe had the economic strength to fight back if necessary. His response wasn't just about trade, it was about ensuring that Europe remained independent and competitive on the global stage. Macron's plan to counter US tariffs included strengthening Europe's industrial base by pushing for more investment in European manufacturing and technology to reduce dependency on foreign economies, increasing defense spending to ensure security and economic resilience, and boosting European investment by reforming the European Investment Bank and prioritizing EU-based industries to create an economy that was less vulnerable to outside pressure. But Macron wasn't alone. Several other European leaders backed his stance, calling for a unified approach to dealing with the US. What do you think? Should Europe fight back against US tariffs, or should it try to negotiate a better deal? Let us know in the comments below. While Macron took a strong stance, other EU leaders were more cautious. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and Irish Prime Minister Michael Martin stressed the importance of diplomacy, arguing that a full-scale trade war would hurt both sides. Finland's Prime Minister Petteri Orpo also warned that Europe's biggest economic threat wasn't the US, but rather external pressures like Russia's actions on the continent. On the other hand, some leaders argued that Europe had no choice but to respond in kind. Luxembourg's Prime Minister Javier Bettel and Spanish Economy Minister Nadia Calvino suggested that if the US continued to impose tariffs, Europe should hit back with its own measures. The divide within the EU highlighted a major challenge. While some nations wanted to maintain a stable relationship with the US, others believed that standing firm was the only way to prevent further economic aggression. To understand the current trade dispute, it's important to look at the bigger picture. The relationship between the US and France has been through plenty of ups and downs. At times, France has been one of America's closest allies, but at other moments, tensions have flared. During the Trump's presidency, relations hit a rough patch. Trump withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement and the World Health Organization, moves that France strongly opposed. He also mocked Macron publicly, worsening the diplomatic strain. Despite these political tensions, economic ties between the two nations remained strong. Trade in goods between the US and France reached €19.7 billion in 2023, though it had declined slightly from previous years. Trade in services, however, continued to grow, showing that both countries still relied on each other economically. The question now is, will these economic ties survive the ongoing trade dispute, or will France start looking elsewhere for stronger economic partnerships? With uncertainty growing around US-EU relations, France has been turning its attention to China. In April 2023, Macron visited Beijing to sign new economic agreements and discuss global issues like climate change. His goal is to diversify France's trade partnerships and ensure that the country wasn't overly dependent on any one economic powerhouse. Historically, Sino-French relations have been complex but largely cooperative. The two countries have worked together on climate initiatives and economic agreements, and China has become an increasingly important trade partner for France. In 2023, trade between France and China reached $78.9 billion, a sign that economic ties are strengthening. Some experts see this as a smart move for France, allowing it to play a more independent role in global trade. Others worry that relying too much on China could create new risks down the line. What's your take? Should France deepen its economic ties with China, or should it focus repairing relations with the US? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. The escalating trade conflict between the US and Europe is more than just a battle over tariffs. It's a sign of shifting global power dynamics, with leaders like Macron pushing for a stronger, more independent Europe, and countries like France looking toward China for new economic opportunities. The global trade landscape is changing fast. While retaliation may seem like the easy answer, long-term stability can only come through dialogue and compromise. Both the US and Europe have too much to lose for an all-out trade war. The coming months will be crucial in determining whether they can find common ground or if economic tensions will continue to escalate. One thing is certain: whatever happens next will shape the future of global trade and international relations. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so you never miss an update. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.